Hi folks, if you came here today to see me play a good competitive deck, you're going to be disappointed. This is Matt's really bad Storm deck. Um, I put this together and played it at FNM last week, and I just had a blast. And so I wanted to play a couple more matches with it, and I rebuilt it on Magic Online and am gonna run it through a league. You may notice that it doesn't share a lot of commonalities with the actually good Storm deck in the format, the Epic Storm. Basically, I really wanted to play Mind's Desire. I've been trying to play Mind's Desire for a long time. I really don't enjoy High Tide and High Tide's game plans. It's not a deck that's really for me. And so I was trying to think about, like, what does Mind's Desire want to do? And so Martin Nielsen had this league that he did with Mind's Desire, Show and Tell, Omniscience, Emrakul, which was kind of cool. So check that out if that's something that seems up your alley, if you wanted to see a take on this deck that's better than what I'm doing. But basically you want a Mind's Desire into Mind's Desire, or I thought, like, we can Dark Petition, and Mind's Desire into Dark Petition gives us +3 mana and a tutor. That seems pretty good. We've got Lorien Revealeds, which are also reasonable to hit off of Mind's Desire. We've got 2 copies of Tendrils of Agony. The reason that there are 2 copies is because when I played it at FNM, I had a really good Mind's Desire that I could potentially, like, it was a refill Mind's Desire, so I hit, like, Dark Petition, Lorien Revealed, not enough mana to keep going. Would have been able to refill and continue to play the game, except that I was only playing the 1 Tendrils of Agony, and I exiled it, and so I could get my opponent to, like, 10, and then I would have to figure out how to finish the game with only Orcish Bowmasters, which didn't end up working out great for me. Apart from this sort of Mind's Desire package, we've got a pseudo-fair-ish plan in 3 Orcish Bowmasters, 2 Brazen Borrower. So the Brazen Borrower can bounce something, buy us time, it can apply pressure, same as the Bowmasters. Bowmasters is a great way to answer opposing Bowmasters as well. We've got some interaction in the form of 3 days for Force of Will, and then I've got the 8 cantrip suite. The fast mana that we have is a playset of Petal, playset of Dark Writ, and then 3 Cabal Writ. Cabal Writ's definitely the worst of the mana acceleration cards that we could be playing. Without playing something like High Tide, this is about where I think we can be. I've got 10 fetches, 2 Underground Seas, 4 islands, and a swamp. The deck is really hungry for blue. We want double blue for Mind's Desire, but we also need 1 black mana for Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual kind of effects so that we can actually get up to the amount of mana that we need for Mind's Desire. And then in the sideboard, I've got a pseudo-fair plan. So in paper, I own a playset of Triumph of St. Catherine's, but because they're like 45 ticks on Moto, and I don't have an interest in really playing, like, I don't care enough about playing specifically Triumph of St. Catherine to spend like 180 USD on them, which is a lot more in Canadian dollars. I am making do with 2 Murktide Regents and 2 copies of Monastery Mentor. Murktide's probably just better than Monastery Mentor, but because I'm having fun anyways, I might as well just, like, really have fun. And so I would like to go kind of nuts with Monastery Mentor in some post-board games. We've got Prismatic Ending and Pest Control, both of which are cards that can clean up something like Chalice the Void. Pest Control and Prismatic Ending are also both cards that are going to be reasonably good against Delver, so Pest Control is something that can wipe up like two Delvers or Delver Dragon's Rage, something like that. Prismatic Ending can either be a 1 mana removal spell for a 1 mana threat, or it can be a 2 mana removal spell for something like a Bowmaster or something like that. We've got a basic Plains in the sideboard to be able to cast these white spells. We've only got the single white pips. We're not going to necessarily need to double white spell in a single turn, I don't think. The likelihood of playing Mentor plus a removal spell or Mentor plus a Pest Control seems unlikely to me, or, Prismatic plus a Pest Control. I've got some sort of generic anti-combo-y cards in the sideboard here. I've got 2 Force of Negation, 2 copies of Thoughtseize, and then 2 Surgicals. I've sort of talked about Surgical versus other graveyard interaction before, but ultimately this is mostly, because we're a Force of Will deck with a combo plan, the Surgicals are mostly here to prevent us from dying on turn 1 to like a busted reanimation hand. Kind of the plan there. But yeah, I don't have a ton to say about this deck. Like, it's super fun. Basically, we're just trying to cast big Mind's Desires and hit fun things off of them. I don't expect to win very many matches, but I had fun and I wanted to continue the storm, if that makes sense. So let's play some matches. All right. Here in round 1, we're on the draw against Rob Boss 1. They have mulled to 6. This hand would be sick if this Tendrils were instead of Mind's Desire. I think I'm going to keep this anyways. It's got stable mana. It's got quite a bit of acceleration. We're basically just looking for payoff of some kind. Yeah, gonna keep it. Ideally gonna lead on just like an Island Ponder kind of a line. If we Island Ponder, find a piece of action, then we can potentially go off on turn 2. Opponent is going Mountain DRC with a Bauble. This could be the new sort of like Prowess Slickshot deck that everybody's been playing recently. You're good, take your time. Oh, I see. Ah. Opponent's got a second Bauble. Feel like if I were them, the way that I would have sequenced this is I would have cracked the first Bauble before playing the second Bauble, so that can inform because they don't know what we're playing at all, so it informs their surveil off of the second Bauble, instead of the way that they sequenced it, which was play the second one and then crack. I think this plan remains the same. I am going to, again, I'm just going to fetch an island and cast a Ponder here. If memory serves correctly, the way that this deck is functioning at the moment is it is basically playing out like a Prowess creature or a DRC, and then tries to go really big with burn and pump spells. I don't know if they're playing Price of Progress main deck or if that was in the sideboard, so I'm going to play off of basics if I can here. I don't think they're playing Wasteland. I could be wrong about that. I don't think I want Force of Will and lands here. I think I'm just looking for a piece of action. So I will, in fact, shuffle. We redrew a land. Kind of a cool thing, I guess, is like, if they go low on resources and I'm worried about getting burned out, we could just Tendrils for like 8 or 9 or something, or 8 or 10 damage, and that could potentially buy us a bunch of time. And because we've got Lorien Revealeds and the Mind's Desires, like, we have the ability to play a long game. Yeah, so this is I think the red-green Prowess. Yeah, there's the Slickshot. Red-green Prowessy deck that lets them just like berserk and try and kill you. Gonna lead on the Brainstorm here. We found Force and Mind's Desire. Okay. So unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to Mind's Desire this turn. So what I think the plan is going to be is I'm going to put back the Tendrils. I'm going to put back one of these Ponders. Yeah. Tendrils, Ponder, play out Flooded Strand, and pass. And they're going to play the Slickshot, and I'm just going to try and Force of Will the Slickshot, pitching this Ponder, and then Mind's Desire for 4 next turn, and hope that that's good enough. But yeah, Slickshot represents the most damage. With 3 cards left in hand, I don't think that they're likely to get there without it. Like, they potentially could, but 2, yeah, if one of those is a Petal, I don't think that's good enough. So we'll see how much damage they can present here, because that's going to be... Right now they're at 6 damage presented, and then they have 1 more card in hand. I don't think even if it's Berserk it gets us. Second Mind's Desire. Second Mind's Desire is not ideal, I don't think. Fetch, get a Swamp. I am pretty sure that we're going to die if we don't kill them here, so I'm going to play and crack the Petal here to give myself an extra mana. Because it turns on the... Oh, I didn't need to do that because the Dark Ritual would have ended them in the graveyard. Sloppy play on my part. So Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Mind's Desire for 4 cards. And let's see what we flip. Oh man, Mind's Desire is so fun. Ponder, alright. Underground Sea. Daze. Oh man, this deck is so bad. And Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. Guess I'm going to lead on my free copy of Ponder here. We've got Dark Ritual Strand Island. We already played a land this turn. I can't play this Underground Sea off of my... Yeah, I already played land. So basically I'm looking at... I get the Orcish Bowmasters here. If I think I'm looking for another Orcish Bowmasters here. Is if I can go Orcish Bowmasters from the Mind's Desire, Orcish Bowmasters from my hand, then that will kill the Slickshot. Yes, I'm going to shuffle. We'll redraw, not do anything, and cast my sad Orcish Bowmasters and ping my opponent. Okay, hopefully we don't die. Oh, this is so bad. Swift Spear. Oh, we can block a Swift Spear. We did it. We're just going to take 4 here, maybe? I don't think I'm going to double block. I think I'll just chump. This attack reads like they have it, and any spell means that we lose both our creatures. Yeah, Fire Blast just kills us. Yeah, you got it. All right. So, not ideal. Pest Control feels fine. Prismatic also feels fine. If I'm doing that, then I'm boarding the planes in, and I think I'm boarding out an Underground. Daze doesn't feel super... Daze could be either great or not. The Brazen Borrowers can block really well, so can Murktide. So I've got to make like six swaps here. I think I'm going to trim the Brazen Borrowers, and I think I will trim 1 Cabal Writ, and I think I'm going to trim the Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah, I think this is where I want to be. If I'm going to have a creature plan, I want the creatures to block their flyers. Brazen Borrower is a little bit too much mana for that effect. Force of... I don't really care about fighting over the spells, I don't think. Because if they don't have a creature to actually gain advantage off of each spell, then it doesn't necessarily do that much. I think this hand is perfectly fine. We've got a little bit of acceleration, we've got a brainstorm, we've got some interaction. I'll do this. They're mulling to 6 again. I'm just going to play my island and pass. They've got Wooded Foothills pass. I'll just untap and draw. Dark Petition, okay. Pass back. I'm kind of okay to just play Drago with them if that's what their plan is. And then if they're going to just... Yeah, that seems fine. I think I'll brainstorm here. Pest Control, not what I'm looking for, I don't think. Is this enough mana to be able to Dark Petition into... So it's Dark Petition makes this into an 8 mana line. So I've got 5, 6, 7, including the... Right now I'm at 7 mana after the Dark Ritual, so I'm 1 short. I think I'm going to put back the Force of Will, and then if we draw... Putting back the Force of Will lets me draw the... Like, a land, any land, or... Yeah, any land or another piece of fast mana lets us Mind's Desire. There we go. So we'll fetch again. Get Island, I guess. Start on the Dark Ritual. I kept the Daze over the Force of Will because they're not a blue deck, and so they don't have interaction in the way that you might... They're like Force of Will, but they could have something like Mindbreak Trap. Okay, so I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is enough mana. Okay, good. So we'll spend all of our black mana, and then I've got enough mana off of the Petals. So we're going to have 3 plus 3. 3 from Dark Petition, and then 3 from the Petals. Blue, blue, and blue. 2, 3. Mind's Desire for 6. Alright. Pest Control, not good. Ponder, that's fine. Cabal Writ, okay. Force of Will. Flooded Strand. Tendrils, okay. I guess lead on Pest Control. I guess I'll Ponder. I'm going to shuffle this, and then I made a mistake. Like, I need to be holding control here, because now I want to Force of Will. Well, I guess I'll daze. I'll daze this, or I guess it was enough anyways. I miscounted. All right, we did it. We got the tendrils for 10 for 20. We did it. Made it worth it. Okay. I think the plan remains the same. The things that I care about are them having creatures in play to attack us with. We have a little bit of interaction for them if they have, like, if we need to counter a Fire Blast or something. They might be bringing in some sort of permanent hate post board now that they've seen it. They've seen what we can do. I still have Force of Wills and Prismatic Ending. Yeah, this is fine. All right, run it back. On the draw. Much harder on the draw. This is 4 mana and a Ponder and a Pest Control. This has quite a bit of action in it. Just looking for some more fast mana, so I think I'll keep this. No interaction, but, well, no interaction outside of Pest Control. They are opening on Foothills for Taiga and DRC. Okay. Petal is not quite enough mana. This puts us up to 5 mana. So going to fetch Island and then Ponder. Yeah, I think I quite like this. So I'm going to put Murktide on bottom, Writ in the middle, Daze on top so that I have access to the Daze. And then that should be enough mana to Desire next turn. Yep. And it's enough mana even if we Daze something this turn. So I quite like this. And we'll see what they're doing. What have you got? Mutagenic Growth? Yeah. I guess they're just going to try and go in on this DRC. That is a lot of damage to try and deal with a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Or maybe they're just trying to get Delirium. Maybe we're looking at like a chunk for like 8 here on the high end. Gut Shot, sure. I guess they kept the next card because I imagine that next card is a land, but ideally they'll never get a chance to play it. Okay, gonna recount to make sure that I in fact have enough mana for this. So I am looking at Petal into Ritual is 3 mana, another Ritual is 5 mana, and then Island Petal is 7 mana, which lets us Mind's Desire. I mean, I guess they could have something, but if they do, like, oh, they're F6'd here. Yeah, okay. Mind's Desire for 5. All right, let's see how lucky we are on our flips. Can we do it? No! They had the Mindbreak Trap, okay. Yeah, I don't think that there's any... I think I just had to play into that there. Next card down, I believe, is the... Yeah, the next card down is the Murktide Regent. So we're drawing a brick for at least 1 turn. And then if we find a second land... Because they kept that hand was pretty slow. So I guess they kept this hand on just the pure strength of the Mindbreak Trap. There's a second land. Okay. That was just a fetch, Slickshot, land. Okay. So we can have a reasonably large Murktide here, which I like. I am going to get an Underground Sea here because I want to have access to black mana. Blue, 1, 2, 4, and 5. So it'd be a 6/6 Murktide Regent. They've got a Slickshot in hand, or in exile, that's been plotted, and nothing else. They can Slickshot, they can attack. You, in fact, have a Slickshot. 2 second Slickshot, okay. They are not making an attack. All right. I think I'm just going to pass here. Yeah, because I think the line here is to get another turn on Threshold for this Cabal Writ, and then Dark Petition for Tendrils, and I think that that'll probably be lethal. So the plan here is pass, block if I block, cycle the Pest Control, daze something if I want or need to, and then Cabal Writ. Yeah, Swift Spear, sure. 1 card left. Not attacking. Cycle this Pest Control, draw Brainstorm. I like Brainstorm. Mind's Desire. Mind's Desire I don't think is what I'm looking for here. Brainstorm. Okay, so I put back Mind's Desire and Daze here. They've been playing around Daze. The Force of Will could be relevant. I'm going to Ponder here, and maybe we can find another piece of fast mana, another Cabal Ritual. So the Cabal Ritual was the bottom card there. So we're going to have 5 cards in graveyard, 5, and then 6 if we get to daze something or force something, and then we can go 6. Yeah, I think this is good enough, because then the second Cabal Writ makes 5 mana, so we go 4 mana, up to 7 mana, 8 mana, Dark Petition, and then can probably Dark Petition, and then I can Dark Petition a second time. Yeah, so this, I think, just barely works. So I'll put the Daze Daze in hand, and pass the turn. So I think I will force like pretty much any spell here. Force or Daze, it doesn't necessarily matter. They are passing back, I think. Yeah, they're passing back here. So now we draw the Cabal Ritual. Mind's Desire on top of our deck. I wonder if their last card is another Mindbreak Trap. Because I feel like if it was anything else, they might have attacked. Can I still do this without Threshold on the Cabal Writ? So I go 4 mana with Cabal Writ. No, I have to pass again. They're just not quite enough mana. 1 mana short. Redraw the Mind's Desire. So by redrawing the Mind's Desire, then I have the ability to daze my own spell I can daze my own spell to turn on Threshold on Cabal Ritual, and then still Force of Will Mindbreak Trap. DRC is fine. No attacks. Untap and pass. Okay. Cool. So, gonna hold control here and play Cabal Ritual to float a blue, daze my Cabal Ritual, returning an island to my hand, and then I'm going to pay for this daze, let my Cabal Ritual resolve, and then play island and Cabal Ritual again, and then Dark Petition. Can Dark Petition for... Okay. They did have the Mindbreak Trap, and I'm going to force their Mindbreak Trap. Man, that feels good. I feel like I read what they had and played through it, and now we get to Tendrils them. And they may just concede here, but I would like to put the Tendrils on the stack. I'm kind of shocked that we're going to win a match. Oh man, this is sweet. I'm so sorry, Rob Boss, that you lost to my pile of garbage. Oh, this is so fun. Alright, Tendrils of Agony. Put Tendrils of Agony on the stack. Target you. Alright, we won round 1 versus Gruul Prowess. I don't know how we escaped this match. Alright, back for round 2. We won the die roll, so we get to choose to be on the play, which I will. We're playing against BalenciagaNBoba, who is a person who typically plays... Like, I feel like I often see their name with, like, Jeskai control lists. I like this hand. It's got Ponder. We've got a couple pieces of mana, so we're just looking for a piece of action. I will keep this. Just going to lead Island Ponder. Island Ponder. Brainstorm, Force of Will. Yeah, I think I'll keep this. I think I'm going to go Brainstorm, Force in my hand. Just in case we're playing against something that is not like a controlling deck. Flooded Strand, Crack, Island, or Tundra, Ponder. Yeah, okay, so seems like my memory was correct. Think I'm just going to play Delta and pass. Stoneforge Mystic. How much do I care about a Stoneforge Mystic? I don't know if I care about a Stoneforge Mystic, although they could get Batterskull. Batterskull could be a pain because it makes it harder to kill with Tendrils. I don't expect that they would just get Batterskull, so I think I'm just going to Brainstorm here. Bowmasters, Brainstorm. I think I'm going to put back C Bowmasters, and then I'll just fetch another island. I expect them to get Cauldron here. Cryptic Coat, okay. I will fetch again. I think I'm just going to Brainstorm again here on the end step so that I can get the, ideally so to get mana, or to get, what am I saying? To get the ability, to get, basically so that I don't have to spend the mana on my next turn. I think I'm going to put back Borrower, and then, I don't know, Lorien Revealed on top, I guess. Redraw the Lorien Revealed. I think I'm just going to take this opportunity. I'm going to cast Dark Ritual into Lorien Revealed. Swamp Dark Ritual. Cast Lorien Revealed. I really like this line of Dark Rit Lorien Revealed. Alright, we now have 3 Lotus Petals. Force, Ponder. I'm just going to pass back here. Again, still just looking for Mind's Desire or Dark Petition. I would much prefer Mind's Desire in this situation, but I feel okay because we've got the Force of Will. In the sideboard games, definitely looking for the Thoughtseizes, and then Mentor's probably going to be pretty good. Gonna need the prismatic endings, because I imagine that my opponent's gonna have stuff like Lavinia, maybe Damping Sphere, maybe Deafening Silence. Lead on Ponder, mana and lands. I'm going to shuffle this. Brainstorm? Yeah, I think I can brainstorm here. Found Dark Petition and Daze. We've got Threshold. If I put back... I'm just trying to think if there's a way that I can have double Force of Will up. Because we're going to generate 5, 8. So we can generate 8 mana with the... I can generate 8 mana if I put Flooded Strand and Ponder back. Or Flooded Strand, Daze back. No, Flooded Strand, Ponder back. And then I can Daze and Force of Will. But I can't double Force of Will, so I beat one piece of interaction, but not 2 pieces of interaction. I think that's going to be fine. Although, it might just be better for me to play my land. I could just put the Strand on the bottom, put the Dark Petition on top. Oh, but then I have 8 cards and I need to play something. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for this with Force, Daze, and hope that they don't have 2 forces. Yeah. Petal. Do I think that my opponent has Daze? I don't really think so. Cast Cabal Writ. I guess I'll play out another Lotus Petal here. And then I will... Oh, I miscounted, didn't I? Oh, crap. I needed the land. Okay. Still gonna Dark Petition. Almost certainly my opponent's going to have a Force of Will. And then what this means is that my line is that I'm going to Daze their Force of Will. And then I can replay my land. So I'll Daze first, make them pay a mana, and then I'll Force of Will. Although now it doesn't matter, because now Tendrils is lethal. They're brainstorming. Okay, and we can Tendrils our opponent for lethal. Well, I guess I'll play my land, and then use my land to play my Tendrils. Alright, game 1, beat a Force of Will. Tendrils for 24 damage or something. Feels good. Going to board in Thoughtseize. Yeah, Thoughtseize. Gonna board in Prismatic Ending for sure. I don't think that Murktide region is where I want to be. They're also not... So, like, they've got Brainstorms and stuff, but the Stoneforge package means that we're not ever going to win a ground game against them unless we can go really big. So I'm going to board in the Mentors, but not the... And I'm going to board out the Bowmasters. I'm going to board in my planes in exchange for one of these Underground Seas. And then I've got 3 more cuts to make. I think I'll trim one of these Cabal Writs. I could trim... On the draw, I can trim a Daze, I think. And then I can trim one more thing. It could be the Brazen Borrower. I think I'll go down to 1 Brazen Borrower, because we've got the Prismatic Endings, which are going to be permanent interaction for something like Lavinia, and much better against, like, Stoneforge Mystic, if that's where I want to be. Okay, I like this. This is where I think I would like to be. Yes. All right. Game 2 on the draw. Lands, Thoughtseize, Brainstorm. Yeah, I like this. I will keep this. You can have at. Opening on Ponder. Deal. Mind's Desire. I'm just going to play an island and pass. The thing with Thoughtseize in Storm decks is that often you want to play the Thoughtseize on the turn that you're going off, and not sort of like before then. I think I'm okay to just sort of like let us go draw go for a bit. Cabal Writ, play out my Underground Sea, and pass back. We can Brainstorm into Lorien Revealed here. I mean, if my opponent was just going to Brainstorm into my open 2 mana, then maybe I should have left my Bowmasters in. Fetching away, sure. Mountain, probably going to represent Pyroblast here. I wonder if they'll bite with Pyroblast on Brainstorm. Yep, think that makes sense. I think I will Island Cycle this. We don't have another Underground Sea because we boarded the second one out, so I'm going to get another basic island here. Untap Tendrils of Agony. Not quite where I want to be. I'm just going to pass back. Don't quite have enough mana to do anything that I'm looking for here. I'm not feeling as good about this game now that we've drawn 3 pieces of action and not very much mana or interaction. Narset, sure. Narset's pretty good here. Surgical Extraction, sure. Strand. What kind of action do I have here? So I've got 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana total. So we could just Mind's Desire for like 3 and hope that that's good enough. That does not feel like it would be good enough. Yeah, that does not feel like where I would like to be. I think I'd like 1 more piece of mana here, because if I can Thoughtseize and... Yeah, because I want to be able to Thoughtseize and present a combo in the same turn. There's Mind's Desire for 3, even though it sort of has some built-in Force of Will protection, it's not super ideal. So Teferi is good, but unlike against Beseech Storm, it doesn't interact in a way that just shuts off Mind's Desire, because I can just cast all of the stuff at sorcery speed. So it doesn't... Another Dark Petition. So the opponent has Surgical in hand. I could just Lotus Petal Petition. Lotus Petal Petition... Yeah, I don't think this does much for me. Still just hoping to draw another piece of mana, I think. And I'm going to pass back. Mentor would be an absolutely busted draw here. This looks like... Oh, I was expecting 4th Aerolingus. Jace is not what I would have expected. But it's cool. I had a version of this list where I was playing 2 Teferis in the main deck and then Narsets in the sideboard. But I think that was too clunky. I don't think there's any way that we're winning this game at this point. But Swamp could be not that bad. So I could just lead on Thoughtseize, which is what I'm going to do, and then maybe I can present... I think I can present Mentor this turn. So if I Thoughtseize, then I go down to 4 mana, 5 mana. Although I can't... Oh, can I just Mind's Desire for 4 with a Thoughtseize? That might be better. That's probably better. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I can just Mind's Desire for X equals 4. I've got Thoughtseize, Force of Will, Spell Pierce, Surgical. Okay. I'll take the Force of Will, cast, yeah, Petal, Ritual. They should Spell Pierce this. Nope, okay. So they should have Spell Pierced that, because that prevents me from getting to 6 mana for the Mind's Desire. I mean, we're still gonna have to hit pretty well off of this Mind's Desire for 4 to be able to do anything, and they can still Surgicaling the Cabal Writ, sure. If we had Tendrils off of one of these Minds, like our second copy of Tendrils off of this Mind's Desire, it's going to be sick. Delta? Sure. I think you're supposed to Spell Pierce something that comes off of the Mind's Desire, not the Mind's Desire itself. Because now, like, yeah, like, now we just get to Mind's Desire again, and then that's just really bad for them. Because now we get to Mind's Desire for, like, 8. I guess I'll take the Surgical, and then we'll Mind's Desire again. Alright. Sick. We're doing it. I think I can ignore what they've got in their hand at this point. Prismatic Ending. Mind's Desire again. Alright. I think that we've got this game. Alright. Somehow, we are 2-0 with Matt's extremely bad Storm deck. Sweet. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Alright. Round 3. We are on the draw. I think we got super lucky on that last Mind's Desire. The Mind's Desire into Mind's Desire into Mind's Desire was sick. Alright. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got 2 lands. It's got a little bit of mana. It's got a Force of Will. It's got a Brazen Borrower. It's got a Brainstorm. It doesn't have, like, a plan yet, but it's got components of a plan. And we're protected against, like, some of the worst things that can possibly happen here. Bowmasters. Okay. I think I'm just going to play it on an island and pass. Sort of don't have enough information yet to know what we're playing against. Suppose I could have played out the Petal and then played the Bowmasters. Maybe that would have been good. Opponent bins Wasteland. Probably looking at Reanimator here. This is probably like the nightmare matchup. I'll just untap and draw. Think I will simply pass back here. They've got a Bowmasters. That is fine. They're going to ping us for a damage. I think I am going to Bowmaster their Bowmasters while they're tapped out. They could daze us here. If they do, I think this is worth fighting over. And I'm going to pitch the Brazen Borrower. Kill your Bowmasters. Now, of course, we could get wrecked by our opponent just having a Reanimate here. Reanimator-Bowmasters is pretty rough. I hope that they do not have that. This is telegraphing a second Bowmasters, but it's also a pretty free attack. Sure. Youch. You got me. Okay. Strand? Yeah, I think I'll just Strand pass. Oh, maybe they're... Oh, Sultai Beans. Okay. Sure. You can have a Beanstalk. I will take the 2 here. I'm thinking about if I want to fire off this Brainstorm here. So it'll wipe off the token and it'll put us dead, like, very quickly. And so the question is this getting any better for us? I feel like the answer to that is no. So I'm gonna take my medicine here, cast this Brainstorm, and hope to find something. I mean, kind of awkward. Would have liked to have had this Bowmasters before I cast this Brainstorm, but, you know, you live where you are, I guess. I'm going to put back C and Force, I think. We'll get Bowmastered a bunch, and then I'm going to Bowmaster them again here, and I'm just going to get another island. They've shown us Wasteland. I don't want to get Wastelanded, and I can fully avoid getting Wastelanded. Bowmasters resolves. We'll ping your Bowmasters. Okay. Dark Petition. Does Dark Petition do anything for me here? I can Dark Petition and have 3 mana left, and that's it. Alternatively, I could invest 3 cards into Lorien Revealed. I could Cabal Writ into... Yeah, I could go like Petal, Cabal Writ, Lorien Revealed. Doesn't seem very good. So maybe I'll just cycle this Lorien Revealed for another island and play an island and then pass the turn. And I guess I can chip for 1 because I'm not going to block with my Bowmasters. Yeah, Murderous Cut. Murderous Cut, kill my Orcish Bowmasters, draw a card. Sure. I think I'm going to ping them for 1 and not their Orc token. There's like a possibility here that with the assorted chip damage, we can get them low enough that we can just Tendrils them. I think that likelihood is pretty remote at this point, but certainly possible. Definitely looking at the Thoughtseizes out of the board for this sort of controlling matchup. Oh, they're putting Cut back on top. Okay, they have not read this matchup correctly, I don't think. That's fine. They're going to put the Cut back in their hand. I wonder if they're going to cut and attack for 4. No, they're just going to attack for 4. Sure. Mind's Desire? Petal? Okay. I mean, I think this is an I go all in kind of a situation. I don't think that this is going to get any better for me. Either they have a Force of Will in their 4 cards, or they don't, but they need Force plus blue card, and one of their cards is a Murderous Cut. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for it. We're going to go Petal. I mean, I guess they can Murderous... Oh, they don't have the mana for Murderous Cut. Yeah, because they only have 3 cards in graveyard. I have to crack my Petal to get Threshold on Cabal Ritual, so I'm going to do that. Sequencing this way so that I tap out of black, just so that... Oh, okay. If they had a Force of Will, then there's a possibility that they forced there to try and keep us off of stuff. Okay, so we have Storm 3, 4 for the Lotus Petal, 5 from Mind's Desire. So we could Mind's Desire for 5. We could Tendrils them for 10 damage, or we could Petition into Tendrils for 12 damage. That is not enough, so I'm going to Mind's Desire here with a Petal up. Petal, okay, sure. They're going to Fatal Push. That was bad timing for that Fatal Push, because now we just get an extra Mind's Desire copy. I feel like we've had a lot of opponents who are not playing around Mind's Desire well. Oh, that's so gross. We hit Mind's Desire off of our Mind's Desire. Oh, that's so gross. Oh my god. Oh, this is sick. Alright. Well, I guess I'm going to bounce Orc token. I guess I can fetch a Delta so that I can vary, or Yeah, fetch a C so that I'm very slightly less likely to draw. Yeah, okay. I was wondering, like, it still showing me the Brazen Borrower's like something that I can cast. Would have been sweet if it was something that if I could cast both halves for free. All right, Daze, Force, Bowmasters, Force, Force, Brainstorm, Mind's Desire. Okay. I guess I will Bowmasters. We'll ping you. Sure. Brainstorm. Put back the Mind's Desire so that I can potentially hit all 4 Mind's Desires in this turn. I guess I will cast the Ponder, and I think I will just draw Island. Yeah, I'm just gonna draw Island here, and then cast Mind's Desire for 13 cards. And surely we hit a Dark Petition or a Tendrils here. Dark Writ, Mind's Desire. Okay, we are going to be able to Mind's Desire literally our entire deck at this point, and we still haven't hit an actual win con. Oh, we did hit the Dark Petition. Okay. So now we can... Okay. Opponent conceded. Awesome. All right. What do we want against Sultai Beans? Against Sultai Beans, I think I would like Thoughtseize is. I think I would like... Do I want Prismatic Ending? I think I want Prismatic Ending. And then, I think I want Bowmasters. I think I also probably want Mentor. Okay, what do I not want? I think I can trim my Cabal Writ. Although, actually, do I actually want any of this creature plan? I think Bowmasters is good to have. If I'm boarding in stuff, I'm going to board in the Plains in exchange for this Underground Sea. That's an easy swap. I kind of feel like Daze is not where I want to be, and I also feel like maybe Force of Will is not where I want to be. Mentor, Bowmasters, Brazen Borrower. Maybe I'll just go without the prismatic endings. Because what are the sideboard pieces that they could have? They could have, I guess they could have Damping Sphere. They could have, like Collector Oof, Null Rod are both cards that I would expect them to have. But those are also cards that I don't really care about. Because we're only playing the 4 Lotus Petals. It's not like we're an LED deck that needs those. Yeah, let's go -2 forces in Murktides and just go kind of ham on this creature plan. You know what? In game 2, I'm gonna go full sideboard. Unlike against Jeskai, the removal suite that they have access to is so much more limited. So against Jeskai, they have Swords to Plowshares, which kills all the creatures. But against Sultai Beans, they've got Fatal Push, which is conditional. They have Murderous Cut, which triggers Beans, but has a high cost in terms of their ability to interact beyond, like it prevents them from being able to play Murktides. Like, it taxes their graveyard. This is perfectly fine. We've got double Bowmasters and some Ponders. Another Bowmasters. Okay. So we have Bowmasters for Daze. I'm going to Ponder here. We have a lot of mana. This is a lot of fast mana and no permanent mana sources. If I were to keep this, I think I would keep it in this order: Ritual, Petal on top, and then I would upkeep my Lorien Revealed, and then I have to get Underground Sea, which exposes me to Wasteland. But the upside here is that I am holding up, so I can play out Petal, hold up Ritual for Bowmasters, and then next turn I can Ritual Bowmasters again. No, I'm going to shuffle this. Brainstorm, okay. We'll pass to them, see what happens. They've got Delta C. They're just jamming a Beanstalk, sure. You got it. Would really like a land here. That is not a land. I'm going to Brainstorm here and try and find a mana source. This is like the highest upside, but also the riskiest play. Okay. Didn't get punished. I'm going to put back Tendrils, Brazen Borrower, I think. Play out my Delta, and I think I'm just going to fetch Swamp now. Sometimes these lists play Stifle. I imagine that Stifle is less popular right now than it has been in the past. However, there's always a possibility that you get Stifled. I'm hoping that they play... Okay. So they get a Fatal Push here. If they have Fatal Push, that's fine. I am going to try and just get my upside. So I'm going to go Dark Writ. They can Daze the Dark Writ, which is fine. We can trade here. That's totally fine. And then, if they don't, then I can Bowmasters. If the Bowmasters resolves. So I'm going to Bowmasters here, because now the Bowmasters is immune to Daze. And then, if the Bowmasters resolves, cool, they're going to force that. That's absolutely fine. Cool. Yeah, that's okay with me. And then I will cycle my Lore Revealed and get another island. Yeah, felt like that trade was fine. If they have to spend a Force of Will on a Bowmaster situation, even if it was Dark Ritual plus, then I think I'm okay with that. I mean, they did get an Up the Beanstalk trigger, but I think this is okay. Blue Murktide Regent. Yep. All right. Now we are under the gun. Thoughtseize. I think I'm just going to brainstorm here. I think we're past the point in this game where the Bowmasters is where I want to be. Brazen Borer, on the other hand, is sweet, because that kind of bricks off a bunch of their stuff. So I'm going to put back land number 4 here, and put back... Am I going to put back land number 4? I think I'm going to put back Ponder land. Yeah. I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm going to take a hit for 5, and then I'm going to Bowmasters them in response to them drawing a card of literally any kind. And then possibly... Oh, this is the most telegraphed Bowmasters I've ever seen. So I'm going to instead... Now I'm going to take this opportunity and use the Brazen Borrower on their Murktide. Because now the way that they played this line makes me feel like they played this Brainstorm with their own Bowmasters up. And so this lets me play around that. And if they want to fight over this, then that's fine. They've got a Ponder and another Ponder. Yeah, I don't think this Bowmaster's plan of mine ended up working out this game. Not feeling great about this, but, you know. Alright. Lead on Ponder. Strand, Petal. I don't think I want any of this. Another Thoughtseize. I think I'll cast a Thoughtseize here, because there are the 2 of them. They're going to Brainstorm. If they have another Daze here, then we're going to get got, but I think that this is an opportunity worth taking. So I'm gonna jam this Bowmasters here. Okay, and the Bowmasters is in. I guess Snuff Out doesn't hit black creatures. So we're now going to have a lot of Bowmaster triggers, and then hopefully find... Our own Murktide would be pretty sweet here if we draw our own Murktide, because it'll be bigger than theirs, I think. 1, 2, 4, yeah, easily bigger than theirs. Just deal them a bunch of damage with Bowmasters. Oh, and they're just going to Daze this. Sure, that's fine. That's actually totally fine. The reason that I'm like super okay with that is because the Thoughtseize would have taken us down to 10, and then we would have been in 2 hit range from their Murktide, whereas now we've got a 4/4 Orc token and our own Bowmasters, which means that the onus is on them to actually interact. They're getting a Trop, sure. They did just bounce another Underground Sea, though. And I guess they wanted to get... This is their upkeep, so... Yeah, I suppose they kept it. Nihil Spellbomb, sure. Dark Petition. Alright. I'm going to Thoughtseize them again now. So if I Thoughtseize them, then I can potentially take whatever the relevant piece of interaction is. Force, Spell Pierce. Force, Bowmasters, Spell Pierce. Trop. I'm going to take their Bowmasters here. And I'm going to cast... I'm just going to main phase this Bowmasters, because I don't want to make the attack if the Bowmasters doesn't resolve. So the question for them is going to be, do they force this Bowmasters or not? I think they probably should force this Bowmasters. And they are cracking their Spell Bomb. Them cracking the Spell Bomb means that I can get in with my Orc token, and then either they trade, which I'm okay with, or now they can't trade, so they're forcing the Bowmasters, and now I can get in for 6. I feel pretty good about this, actually. So they have Trop plus 2 cards. We find a Ritual. I guess we need two pieces of mana. Green, black. This is going to be a Witherbloom command, I think. Witherbloom command, kill the Orcish Bowmasters, drain me for 2. Yep. But they still have to chump block. That's another Spell Bomb. Wow. Who would have guessed that our Storm deck... Oh, that's not good. I don't like that. Oh, that's just lethal. Yeah, okay. We can concede here. That's too bad. The spell bomb for lethal. What a line. Okay. Okay, so I don't think they showed us anything that I care about having prismatic ending for. The Brazen Borrowers were pretty good. Mentor still lets us go pretty wide. Murktide I still feel pretty good about. Maybe we just go plus Dazes here. I like Dazes. Could go in Dazes, out a Dark Petition. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I like being able to interact with Daze. I liked that creature plan. I didn't really care about not having Force of Will. I like this hand a lot. I'm going to keep it. Cool. So, looking for rituals and more lands. Rituals, more lands, and we've got a creature plan, including Bowmasters, Murktide, and we've got a Thoughtseize. I like this. I like this quite a bit. I'm so much slower at playing Storm decks than I am at playing sort of like blue fair decks. But man, do I have so much fun playing them. They're so enjoyable. Our opponent is really debating about that hand. I feel like there were at least a couple of instances last game where I could have sequenced better, but I didn't. I don't know what those moments were. I'm sure I'll rewatch this and figure out where I could have made slightly different plays, but you know. None of this is what I'm looking for. I just want another land, please. Another Mind's Desire. Okay. Opponent playing Strand, cracking Strand. Probably going to lead on a Ponder or something. Yep. Delta. All right. I like that. I'm going to play out the Petal here so that I don't get dazed. Or so that I can pay for daze if they have it. And then I think I'm just going to pass. Probably plan to Bowmasters them at some point. I'm definitely going to attempt to Bowmasters in response here. So we're going to have 3 cards in graveyard, 4 with Petal, 5 with Thoughtseize. I think I'm going to get Underground Sea here instead of Swamp. No, I can still do this with Swamp and not expose myself to Wasteland. I'm just thinking about how do I Thoughtseize plus Murktide next turn, because that is what I would like to do. If I'm going to resolve a Murktide and just try and like apply a bunch of pressure, then I would like to be able to Thoughtseize first. It'll be a small Murktide, it'll be a 5/5, but I think that's fine. Drawing all action and no mana, but I think that's fine. Gonna Thoughtseize. You're gonna force this, which I'm okay with. You're gonna draw another card, and I'm gonna ping you again. And now can crack for blue and Murktide. 1, 2, 4, 5. Blue. 5/5 Murktide. If you have another Force of Will. Oh, Daze. Okay. No, that's pretty good. Still get to jam for 4. And then if we just find some more mana sources over the course of the next couple of turns, then we still have the ability to present Mind's Desire, which is the best card in this kind of a matchup. Opponent just casting a Fatal Push. Sure. Fatal Push into Ponder. Alright. Island. Attack for 3. I'm just going to pass again. As long as they don't play a Bowmaster, I would really like to find a Brainstorm. I don't think they have a Bowmaster, or they would have played Bowmaster last turn instead of Fatal Push, I think. And then this is a Murktide on their end. And this is going to be an 8/8 Murktide, so it's like a turn clock. Yep. Not ideal. Pretty far from ideal. I think I'm just going to pass back. Beans number 2. Okay. They are really pulling ahead here. Mentor. Unfortunately, because I'm not playing a Tundra, I can't cast this Mentor. I was playing a Mentor in my prior build. Or, sorry, no Mentor. I was playing a Tundra in my prior build, the one that I played at FNM, but I decided not to in this version. I probably should have. They are making a ton of game actions. Now they can get in, because now I can't... Now they're not worried about trading damage. Still just looking for, like, Dark Ritual. I would still take a Brainstorm if I... Even though they have a Bowmasters here, I think I would still take Brainstorm. Tendrils. Gonna just pass back again, I think. I think this is where our luck runs out. There's another Bowmaster. Yep. Oh, and they just have lethal here now. Right? 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Yeah, because they can push and we die. There's no block that I can make that will... Yeah, they got us on multiple angles here. Good games. All right, our luck ran out. We're now 2-1. Welcome back to round 3. We are on the draw. I've got a 7 that includes 2 pieces of mana, Ponder, Petal, Brazen Borrower, and a piece of action. I think I'm going to keep this. This hand has some vulnerabilities. It doesn't have a way to interact with Force of Will. We're weak to Wasteland, but I think that the power level of this hand is high enough that I'm going to keep it. Let's see what our opponent is on. Our opponent leads on Misty. They crack their Misty. Basic Island Ponder. Okay. Not a ton of information so far. Not gonna likely be a Delver deck. They chose to keep their card. Could be a Beans deck. Could be something of that ilk. I'm going to start with Ponder. That is, I think, exactly what I'm looking for here. So I'll put Brazen Borrower on the bottom, Mind's Desire in the middle, and then Flooded Strand on top, and I will elect not to shuffle my Ponder. And then I will pass. So this lets us Mind's Desire for 4 next turn, which is pretty good. If we hit Rituals off of our Mind's Desire, then we can Dark Petition, which is also good. Our Mind's Desire is an exact, 6 mana in 3 cards out, or 4 cards out, so we'll see what happens there. They're just casting a Brainstorm. No! They want Basic Land Wasteland. Alright. Well, that sucks. If only we'd drawn the fetch land first. Oh well, that's okay. Fetch Island, cast another Ponder. So this lets us run the exact same line next turn, but if they interact with any of our pieces, we die and are locked under our Ponder and probably die. But it does give us Storm 5. Would have loved if there had been a Force or a Daze in this pile. I think it's worth keeping. And we'll just pass back. And hopefully Sultai Beans again. Alright. Okay. Well, let's lead. Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual off of our Lotus Petal. They're thinking about it. Either you force here or you don't. Either you force here or you don't force until you... and try and hit the payoff, I think. I feel like if I were my opponent, I would hold the force here and try and force the Doomsday. I'd probably put me on Doomsday here, yeah. Petal. I think I'll crack for... Yeah, I'll crack for blue here and then cast the Cabal Ritual. And hopefully they let this resolve. Please don't force this. Please, I just want to cast Mind's Desire. Please. Don't think about it too hard. Don't force it. Oh my god, they so have a force and they are so thinking about it. No! Yeah, alright. Crap. So our next card down is Brazen Borrower, and with no resources left, I guess I will concede here. I guess I can play out Brazen Borrower and then just have a 3-1. We've got Threshold, I guess if we hit sort of Cabal Writ plus some lands, we can potentially claw our way back in here. But feels pretty tough to do. If our opponent Thoughtseizes us, or this looks like it's a Murderous Cut on the Brazen Borrower, draw a card, that's also fine. Sure, you got it. Brazen Borrower, I'll pass back. Our opponent kept their cards off of their Ponder, which is not a great indication. They missed a land drop. Now we draw Force of Will. Pass back again. Sure, you've got an Orcish Bowmasters. The slow journey to death begins. Or, I guess, Beans number 2. We're going to get chipped for 2 down to 16. Delta's a start. And we're going to continue to chip for 2, putting us to 14. Lorien Revealed. Okay. I think I'll just Lorien Revealed for another island. Play my land for turn. We're getting Stifled. That's fine. They've got another Bowmasters here. The clock is increasing. So we're going to go to 9 here. If we draw Brainstorm, we can potentially hit outs without ending up dead to the Bowmasters. They've got a Murktide Regent. That's fine. It's a big Murktide Regent. It's definitely lethal this next. There's a Brainstorm. Okay, so if we Brainstorm, we take 6, we go to 3, fetch, go to 2. Can we might be able to hit outs. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. We need to hit, like, very well here. That is not going to do it. Okay, you got it. All right, moving into sideboarding. Okay, so I think the mistake that I made during the prior game against Sultai Beans was, I think I went too heavy on the creature plan. I think I want Murktide Regents. I think I want these Bowmasters. I don't think the Mentors were where I wanted to be. They didn't have stuff that I actually cared that much about them having in terms of, like, permanence. I don't think I care about having this Plains in. I think I can just ignore all of the white cards for this specific matchup. And then maybe I want to actually fight over the beans themselves. I don't think I'm going as deep as Force of Negation. And then I think maybe I'll just trim, like, one Petition, and I think I will trim a Brazen Borrower, but not both. Yeah, I think my mistake last round was not trying to interact with their engines. This has got, like, the cards that I'm looking for, I think. So I'll keep this, and I'll play out the Vista first. I could Vista for Swamp and then Island Cycle, get basic Island. I kind of don't hate that. The Tendrils in the opener is not where I'd like to be, but Dark Ritual plus Mind's Desire is exactly where I want to be. The key, ultimately, I think, is just get to the 6 mana, and, we're just hoping that Mind's Desire does its thing. Them going to 5 is something that I like. You can have a Ponder. You got it, bud. I think I will fetch Swamp here and cycle for basic Island. Just not get wastelanded. Well, Ponder's not awful. Brainstorm, Mind's Desire, Bowmasters. Brainstorm and Bowmasters I like. Second copy of Mind's Desire I don't really like. That said, I guess I can put Mind's Desire on bottom, Brainstorm in middle, Bowmasters in my hand, and then we can draw through most of this pile over the next, like, turn and a half. And then maybe if they cast a Brainstorm, then we can Writ Bowmasters with Days Up, which I don't hate. No, I don't think this is the spot. I don't want to do that. I think that was another mistake I made in the last match, was being a little bit too aggressive with the creatures, because I ended up spending 2 resources to get, like, Bowmaster or Murktide into play, and then we'd trade off the resources themselves, and then that ended up with me just, like, down on cards. I will Brainstorm and hope to find something. Okay, so I'm going to put actually I'm going to put Mind's Desire on the bottom of this pile, and then maybe I just put Mind's Desire back on top, and then I can redraw Mind's Desire, and then take it from there. Basically, I want the Mind's Desires in the deck to potentially hit off of Mind's Desire. Having a Mind's Desire in my hand is actually really bad. I'm going to not play out my Underground Sea here. So I'm just going to pass, and then we'll take a line that's something along the lines of, like, Dark Ritual, Petal, Underground Sea, Mind's Desire. It's not a very large Mind's Desire, but it clears the top of the deck a little bit, and if they fight over any chain of this, then we can Daze, which adds additional Storm. They've got a Beans. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really want to fight over Beans in this particular spot. And we've got the most awkward Force of Will, which is the double Daze. Alright, C. Dark Writ. Petal. Mind's Desire for 3. Hope to be lucky. Underground Sea. Dark Petition. Oh boy, what's the last one? Force of Will. Okay. So, what can we do? So, Dark Petition gives us plus 3 mana. So we could Dark Petition and then Tendrils them for, like, 8 damage. That's kind of whatever. I mean, I guess I'll cast this Dark Petition. I'm going to Daze their Daze, picking up my Underground Sea. There's a possibility that they just, like, fight over this enough. If they fight over this enough, then we could potentially find a ritual, and then... Yeah, I could find a ritual, and then I can Tendrils, and then that wins the game. 7, 8, 9, and then I can ping them for one with Bowmasters. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just getting Cabal Ritual here. Oh, Cabal Ritual gives me enough mana. It gives me 6 mana, so that I can Bowmasters plus Tendrils. So we can Cabal Rit and Bowmasters, ping you, and then show you the Tendrils from my hand. Ha! We did it! Oh man, this deck is so sweet. It's so bad, but it's so sweet. Alright. Do I want to change anything here? I could potentially go down on Dazes. Oh, I was playing 61 cards, was I? That certainly wasn't intentional. Yeah, I don't think Brazen Borrower is where I want to be at all. And then the rest of this I still like. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I will resubmit this. This hand I like. I like this hand a lot. I really like this hand because we've got a Force of Will, we've got Mind's Desire, which is the better of our payoff cards, we've got a piece of fast mana. Oh, okay, we didn't crash. Moda froze for a second there, and I was like, oh no, do I have to restart? I do not. Okay. Dark Petition. I think I'm just going to play Island and pass. We'll see what they're up to. Cyclorian revealed, sure. They've gotten a Trop. They are passing back. Play out Delta, and pass the turn. They are cracking, and they've gotten a Hedge Maze. I think I'll take this opportunity to cast my Brainstorm, or I guess I'll let them Surveil first. I'm going to put back Dark Petition and a land. I think I'll put Island on the bottom of the stack, Dark Petition on top of that, and pass the turn. Basically, there's a possibility that they stifle us. I'm okay if they stifle us. I just think I'd rather redraw the Dark Petition if I get stifled rather than another land. Oh, no, they just let us have it. I'll get a Swamp draw, play out Delta, pass the turn. Not a huge fan of my blue card being Mind's Desire to pitch to this Force of Will, so probably not going to do that. The Tendrils wasn't a super great draw, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll just take my turn. Another Mind's Desire. Could be worse. I'm going to pass back here. They're not really forcing us into any game actions, and I would like another piece of acceleration. Like, I don't really want to just Dark Ritual Mind's Desire for two. That doesn't feel like a good plan to me. I think I will just untap and draw. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is not bad. I quite like Thoughtseize. I would like one more mana source to be able to Thoughtseize and then Mind's Desire. They're going to Bowmasters, which is okay. That's fine. And then I think I will Bowmasters them. And they're going to force my Bowmasters, pitching a Murktide Regent. That is okay with me. I think I will then... I think I will just let that happen, and then I will untap and attempt to Bowmasters them again on, like, when they don't have the ability to daze me. Like, I can just take 2 from this Bowmasters here. And basically, we can just play a little bit of a Bowmasters subgame for a little bit. I've got some life total to work with. Green Beanstalk. I think that here is maybe where I will, in fact, pick a fight. So get Island. They tapped their Wasteland, so they can't... Yeah, I'm going to get at least one more. I suppose they could be holding another Wasteland, but, you know. What can you do? Surgical my Bowmasters? Yeah, you really care about this, don't you? Is this even something that I care about that much? Like, I can just untap and Mind's Desire. Yeah, sure. You wanna go down a card, surgically my Bowmasters? I think I'm fine with that. I mean, not go down a card, but like, yeah. If I draw a mana source, then I can Thoughtseize, Dark Rit, Mind's Desire. Feel okay about this. And there's not a huge amount that you can do to interact with that, because I do have a Force of Will. If my opponent is just getting... If they're just going to, resolve this Beanstalk and then pass the turn... Maybe my line is actually I'm just going to get an Island so that I am still immune to Wasteland. I think that's what I'm going to do. The jig is up. You know I've got Murktides, but, you know, it's fine. Island? Okay. Island will do. Yeah. Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, Mind's Desire you. Dark Ritual's on the stack. They're thinking about it. They're going to Force of Negation. I will Force of Will. I hope they're... Ooh. Alright. That's pretty good. Alright. Alright. Well, I guess I'm going to pass the turn. And hopefully we don't get Murktided. Always a possibility we do. They are fetching 5 mana. This could be like Lorien Revealed. Mystic Sanctuary, Lorien Revealed, sure. This is their upkeep, so they're just going to spend their turn Lorien Revealing. Yep, you've got a lot of cards. I guess it didn't matter how I played that turn because they had the Veil of Summer, so Force of Willing wouldn't have interacted positively. They're fetching, I wonder if they're going to cast a cantrip, Ponder, or something like that. Seems like it's going to be a Ponder. Brainstorm, okay. Weird Brainstorm with no land drop remaining after the fetch. I guess maybe they're just trying to find Force of Will? I don't know. Please, all I wanted was to cast my Mind's Desire. It's what my mind desires. I think waiting another turn gets better for me. So we could desire for 2 here, but I think just waiting another turn or 2 is going to be slightly better. As long as we're not under a lethal threat, more mana to be able to... Oh, I don't want to F6 here. I want to interact. The Lotus Petal gives us Desire for 2. Desire for 2 is extremely unlikely to be good. Desire for 3, I'm like, yeah, we can roll the dice. Let's have some fun. Opponent is pondering their options. There are many options of how to end this game. There's the Murktide, okay. So now definitely looking for a piece of mana. I think any piece of mana does it for us. I've got another Bowmasters, sure. Just stacking on the damage. I don't think you needed to do it this way. The would have been lethal next turn anyways. I guess if you Witherbloom command, then I can't utilize Brainstorm as a redraw. Yeah, okay. So Brainstorm is dead. Well, I mean, Brainstorm makes me dead. So hopefully we don't draw Brainstorm. Dark Ritual? Tendrils real awkward here. I mean, literally the only line is Mind's Desire for 2 and hope that that's good enough. So that's the line I'm going to take. I guess, like, Mind's Desire for 2 hit Petition could win us this game. They have a force of some kind, and they're thinking about whether or not to force this Lotus Petal. And they didn't, which means we're in. Alright, Mind's Desire for 2. We're going to spin the dice. Roll the dice. Mind's Desire off the top, please. Mind's Desire. Underground Sea? Mind's Desire? Mind's Desire? Yeah, I mean, that was correct. No. And... well, I guess I can play this Underground Sea. And then concede. Alright. Lost to Sultai Beans back-to-back. Seems like a bad matchup. Alright, welcome back to round 5 of Matt's extremely bad, super horrific Storm deck, which is so fun. We're playing against Joe L, who is sort of a little famous for playing Reanimator-Omni. This hand has cantrips, it has counter magic, and then it's got a Tendrils, which is not great, and it has a Dark Petition, which is also not great. I don't know how I feel about this hand. We're on the draw. My opponent's probably a Force of Will deck. And this can probably be sculpted into something that is reasonable. I will keep it, and hopefully we have time and resources to do so. We're probably unfavored in this matchup because we've got, we're a critical mass deck in a sense, where my opponent is not. I'm going to fetch. There's a possibility that, based on this opening, that they're actually a Wasteland deck. So I'm going to still just get a basic land. Bowmasters and Brazen Borrower. That gives us a plan. I think I'm going to put Brazen Borrower on the bottom, Bowmasters in the middle, Swamp on top, yeah. And then we can just kind of play a tempo game for a little bit. Yeah. I think this is fine. We will see if I am right. We've got Lorien Revealed, sure. We played a match the other day, and I was on Esper Stoneblade. I think I was playing I don't think it was a recorded match. I think it was one that I was playing for fun. So I wonder if Joe remembers and is putting me on that. I hope so. I hope that's what they're doing. All right. Draw, play a land. I think I'll cast the Ponder here. That's a lot of Brazen Borrowers. I guess I'll keep one Brazen Borrower for this Force of Will or for whatever else I'm doing, and then put the Strand on top to fetch. And then I will play out Lotus Petal so that I can Bowmasters if I want to. And yes, this gives away a lot of information, but I think the upside of being able to apply pressure, especially with follow-up Brazen Borrower, is where I would like to be. Swamp 4, Swamp Entomb, Swamp Thoughtseize. Yeah, you can Thoughtseize me, that's fine. I tend not to like Force of Willing Thoughtseize. Because, you just end up down 2 cards. Yes, it gives your opponent information, but the card is, I think, usually worth more than the information is. Still have days. They're probably looking at this hand being like, what is going on? What is happening? Alright, took my Force of Will. It's fine. I think I will trade my Lotus Petal for getting this Bowmasters into play here. Just apply some pressure. Creatures are here to apply some pressure, make my opponent think about how the sequences work, that kind of thing. I will attack with everything. Here to jam. Jam we shall. And pass. Let's see what kinds of actions are going to be taken on this turn. We got 2 mana. Last time I played against Joe, they played this, 5 mana. It's just a show and tell. Okay. I'll float a blue mana, and I will daze your show and tell. And I think we're going to get forced here, but, that's what it's going to be. Force back, sure. I suppose I'll let this go. Let's see what you want to put in off of your show and tell. I'll put in my island. And we just have an Archon. Oh, okay. I think that's fine, actually. I'm going to bounce this Archon before you have a chance to draw a Force of Will. I'll sacrifice my Orc token, and then I am going to discard Tendrils, I think. I will deal you a damage and get another Orc token. I feel like that worked out relatively well. And then I will fetch, and I'm just going to get an Underground Sea. Basically, I don't want the second Brazen Borrower on top of my deck, I don't think. Maybe I do. Could be wrong. Bowmasters, quite like that. Maybe I should have left that second Brazen Borrower on top. The line that they took kind of makes me feel like maybe they just have a second show and tell. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I will Bowmasters you again. And let's hope that the double Bowmasters can get us over the finish line here. I suppose Cabal Ritual could still turn on this Dark Petition. But yeah, Joe's playing with perfect information here, so we kind of are just, now that I've resolved the second Bowmasters, there are no cards that my opponent does not know about. We're going to get Show and Tell again? Okay. No, I was wrong about the Show and Tell. All right. So they kept that Ponder. I guess it's, well, I'll attack first, I think. Keeping the Ponder means that there's some sort of sufficient action there. I think I'm going to Brainstorm now, because what I was going to say is because we could potentially hit action that would let us play this Dark Petition and potentially, drawing Cabal Writ there lets us storm 3 Tendrils our opponent, but 3 lands doesn't let us do any of that, so I'm just going to play out this Vista and pass the turn with the intention of playing this Brazen Borrower and hope that that's enough. So either our opponent found some sort of a kill this turn, or... okay. I was going to say either they found a kill or they made a mistake. But I guess that's a reason that you could make that play and it isn't a mistake. I'm not sure. I will cast this Brazen Borrower on my opponent's end step. And they gain the life on their turn, so I think that this was just a mistake on Joe's part with that Ponder, because I can just attack for lethal, because I'm attacking for 5. Okay. Yeah, I think I also drew the Dark Ritual, so we could have still Dark Ritual Petition Tendrils. We had it both ways. Okay, in this matchup, I would like Force of Negation, I would like Thoughtseize, and I would like Surgical Extraction. And then I think I might also want Murktide if there is space to put them in. Things that I don't know if I want are these Brazen Borrowers. The Brazen Borrower was kind of good in that game, but I don't think that that's generally indicative of how it'll be. So 2, 3, I've got 6 cards that I want to board in. I could trim on Dazes. I could trim the Tendrils now that I've got more win conditions, including the Orcish Bowmasters. I don't mind trimming a Tendrils. So like if I accidentally brick off and I can't win the game without the, it's much harder against like a Delver deck to only have 1 Tendrils than it is against like a combo deck where Bowmasters is an actual legitimate threat. You know what? I actually think Surgical's not where I want to be. I think I'd rather just be on large quantities of Force of Will. And I think that this is where I want... Yep. Yeah, I think this is... I'm going to give this a shot. I suppose something like Defense Grid could be in my future. The Shield Grid obviously has some impact, but, you know. All right. Up game 1. We've been up a lot of game 1s. Hasn't necessarily saved us. I think I'll keep this hand. It's a little bit on the mana heavy action light end of the spectrum, but it is perfectly keepable. It's a 7, and Resource Wars. I think a Resource War is where we may end up fighting a lot of this. I'm just going to lead on Ponder here. I either want to use Thoughtseize like directly before a key turn for my opponent, or to protect my own combo on a turn I go off. I'm going to put this Delta on the bottom, I'm going to put the Brainstorm in the middle, and then I will draw another Ponder. Very, very good to see 2 cantrips there, and glad to be able to shuffle something away. And I'm just going to Daze this Entomb. I feel like, I would have, on the other end of this, I would have played around Daze with the Entomb. Like, I would have pondered on turn 1 and then entombed on turn 2 with an extra mana up. I think that's how I would have sequenced this. Okay. So, I can Thoughtseize here to try and break up a show and tell line. Or, I can ponder, try and find a Force of Will or another Daze. Or, I could Brainstorm into 2 fresh cards, but then not be able to put any of them back. I think I'm just going to play Island Ponder. We're going to look at 2 new cards here. One of them is a Force of Will, which I like. So we'll go Delta on bottom, Force in the middle. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to put Cabalrit in the middle, and then Force on top. Well, we're here now. So now that I've ordered it like this, do I shuffle it because I wanted that Force that badly? And I think the answer is no, and I just have to hope to dodge. Like, I could try and hide the mistake and hope to just shuffle into top card is Force of Will, but I don't think that that's the right place to be. Like, if I get punished, I get punished. There's an Entomb, and there's a Reanimate. Sure. Thoughtseize, Limduel's Vault. Already used all the black mana for the turn. Animate Dead, Archon. So I think the line will probably be something like... So, Joe took the Limduel's Vaults, Animate Dead, Thoughtseize, Archon, Swamp. Gonna discard the Archon to hand size, and then I can choose to Thoughtseize the Thoughtseize. Think I get a lead on Brainstorm here. Just see what my options are. That's probably not sufficient. I think I'm just going to concede. Oh, didn't discard the Archon. Interesting, discarded Ottawa instead. Not that I think that matters. Well, no, I suppose that we've still got some outs. I guess I'm going to put back Island, Vista, Fetch, C, Thoughtseize. If I don't die, and if I just, like, rip Mind's Desire off the top, then there's a shot. Well, I was going to say there's a shot. I don't think there's a shot now. That's a pretty stacked hand. Okay. I will concede this game. Let's go to the next one. Alright. Do I still want to just be hard on combo? I think I do. I don't think I'm winning a fair-ish game this way. Even though that's kind of how we won game 1. The deck might be better if I boarded out some amount of combo for for the pseudo fair plan, but that's not why we're here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna resubmit as such. I think that hand was a little bit land light or land heavy, and I drew more lands instead of action. This hand could pan out. We've got 2 brainstorms. I think I'll take 1 mulligan here. Yeah, I like this better. Keep this, put back island, and play a strand and pass. And the first hand was probably fine. Leading on C ponder, sure. I think the goal in this matchup for me is, Daze is quite good here. I like that a lot. The goal in this matchup here is at least on the tempo end, is get his life total low enough that Reanimate itself is turned off, and then that creates a lot of bricks. Ooh, Boseiju, okay. That's not good. I wasn't expecting Boseiju. People haven't played Boseiju in a long time. So what Boseiju means is now I'm much more likely to want to fight over cantrips and the search spells, but also Boseiju costs 2 life every time it's used. Attack for 2. Yeah, alright. Hope not to die and pass. Yeah, Boseiju's real scary here if we just see... Oh, thank goodness. I was gonna say, just Boseiju show and tell is gross. Attack for another 2. I'm gonna hold the Lorien Revealed for the moment, and Island Cycle on my opponent's turn. Undercity Sewers. Boseiju also only, I think, protects show and tell itself. So Animate Dead can't be cast off of Boseiju, and Reanimate costs 1 mana. So really the Boseiju only protects show and tell itself. 2. Oh no. Vesuvan Drifter. Oh, I can counter a Vesuvan Drifter. Okay. I think I will counter a Vesuvan Drifter. And I think I will pitch this Lorien Revealed. So even though the additional land might be nice, I want to have Force and Daze. If I have the opportunity to use the Daze, then that's great. If not, that's okay. Okay, so we've got Fluster for a bunch here. Fluster for 3 copies. This is kind of interesting. So I'm going to just play Dark Ritual and then use my Dark Ritual to pay for these Fluster Storms. And then that lets me maintain more counter magic up. Unfortunately, it takes me further away from casting Mind's Desire, which was the point, but also winning is nice. I don't know, it's a hard balance, right? Am I trying to have fun, or am I trying to win games? Yeah, I cannot counter this show and tell, so your show and tell is going to resolve. I have nothing to put into play. That's an Omniscience. Okay. Well, the bad news is Omniscience makes things free. The good news is I can counter the things that come off of Omniscience. So that's not bad. Well, that's kind of bad. Okay. So now the Orc army is big. It's not quite as big as I would want, but it is somewhat big. So the Shieldred Lorien Revealed is it's a play. I think I'm probably dead here, but it's not I don't know if this is guaranteed over. This is non-deterministic, I think. The same way that Mind's Desire is non-deterministic. Maybe Joe's deck is just better than mine. But oh man, we had some sweet runs with Mind's Desire in rounds 1 and 2. Oh, so sweet. What was that? Mind's Desire for 3 into Mind's Desire into Mind's Desire. Hit all 4 Mind's Desires. Woof. Had a good run. Shieldred as a way to counter Bowmasters is kind of interesting. So normally if you were Omni in this position, you had to cantrip to find a win condition through a Bowmasters, you'd have a very limited number of spells with which to do that. But because of the Shieldred, now you can cantrip as much as you want because the Bowmaster doesn't keep up with the life gain from Shieldred. It's a pretty interesting, kind of a cool interaction. All right, so I'm going to lose 2 life. This doesn't quite do it. I suppose I can attack for 5. The fact that Joe stopped there means that his hand is either going to be like they're reactive spells and or lands, basically. There's no reason other than those are the cards that you have to stop. Being able to just attack with for 5 is pretty valuable. It gives some clock. Mind's Desire is not ideal here, but neither is our deck. Entomb? Sure. Oh, Diabolic Vision puts the rest on top in any order. Oh, that's interesting. So I guess the Entomb was needed to shuffle the... interesting. Okay. Shallow Grave. Pretty good. I feel like Joe could have done all of this on their turn and not given me a turn and potentially still killed in the same turn. I mean, I'm super dead here. Yeah, there's a Force of Will. 2 Force of Wills. Animate Dead. There's the Archon in the graveyard. Yeah, I can concede here. I am now definitively dead. All right. Well, 2 and 3 was honestly a better record than I was expecting with my really bad Storm deck, but I had fun. I hope that you had some fun following along with this. Let's do a quick recap on the on the deck. Okay. So it's sweet when it goes right, and it is deeply not sweet the rest of the time. The biggest issue with this is that Dark Petition is not that good. It's really good off of Mind's Desire, and it lets you play Force of Will in your deck, unlike something like Infernal Tutor. The mana base and the rituals felt pretty good. I liked having the counter magic. The Bowmasters plan was clearly pretty effective. The sideboard threat suite felt bad. Mentor and Murktide felt much worse than Triumph when I played it in paper. So I don't know if that's where I would want to be. Thoughtseize, Force feel fine. The deck's not very good, but I had fun playing it, and I hope you all did too. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for sticking around if you're still here.